I'm so pleased to be joined by Nancy Holthus. And Nancy, we've got a field of 10 going to take shape here for this year's Rebel.
Yeah, we have seen the Rebel be integral in that springboard, not only to the Arkansas Derby, but later on to the Kentucky Derby. A lot of qualifying points are on the line for the draw.
And one thing that is just so glaring here, you know, such a comprehensive series of races at Oaklawn, and 3 races with very lucrative purses.
Yes, we actually are very proud to host the nation's richest path toward the Triple Crown. And a lot of trainers do come here because they kind of still get that Derby environment from the walkover to the crowd in the infield and the crowd screaming for these equine athletes down the lane.
Well, they do love their racing here in Arkansas, and they come out in droves. Well, we've got people from the racing office with us, Mike Feisinger, Jordan German, Eric DeCosta. They'll be pulling the pills, and why don't we get right into it, guys, and let's start the draw for the 66th edition of the Rebel.
Number 8.
8, Rancho Santa Fe.
Number 8 will be Rancho Santa Fe, coming off a good closing effort in the Southwest, Nancy.
Yeah, Brad Cox had his last Rebel winner in 2024 with Timberlake, most recently 4th in the Southwest.
On to the next one.
Number 2.
2, Litmus Test.
Litmus Test gets post position 2. Bob Baffert shipping in.
No stranger to see Bob Baffert. He has a record 8 Rebel victories, and this horse already has 19 points towards the starting gate the first Saturday in May.
Number 5.
5, Honey's to Blame.
Honey's to Blame from the Kenny McPeek barn gets post 5.
How about this is an Arkansas bred who will make the stakes debut in this amazing Rebel running.
Number 1.
1, Bravaro.
The New York bred Bravaro gets post position 1.
Yeah, already does have 10 points towards the Kentucky Derby and was runner-up most recently in the Grade 3 Holy Bull.
Number 4.
4, Blackout Time.
Blackout Time, the early morning line favorite, gets post position 4 for Kenny McPeek. Brian Hernandez, the band's back together.
That's right, as we've seen it here at Oaklawn before. 8-5 morning line favorite. We last saw him to run second to Ted Nafi, who would go on to championship honors.
Yeah, and we know Kenny McPeek has used the path to the Kentucky Derby through Arkansas with great success.
Yes, he has. We saw that most recently with Mystic Dan. He skipped the Rebel after winning the Southwest, but was victorious to get the run for the Roses.
Well, next up.
Number 9.
9, Time for Music.
Time for Music gets the outside post for Keith Asmussen riding for his dad, Steve.
Yeah, does get that outside ride. Might benefit from that as this horse does like to close and is also a tested springboard mile company, but still looking to improve.
Number 7.
7, Silent Tactic.
Silent Tactic gets post position 7. He's installed at 9-2, coming off a really nice victory in the Southwest.
Yeah, very impressive. Third choice at 9-2, and Mark Casse already has 25 points and well represented. And Casse, so far at this meet alone, is an 8-time stakes winner.
Number 6.
6, Strategic Risk.
Number 6 will be Strategic Risk, the other Mark Casse, who actually was shorter price in the Southwest than his stablemate Silent Tactic.
Yeah, we saw him in our first Kentucky Derby qualifying points race, the Smarty Jones, and was extremely impressive and does get Javier Castellano back in the irons.
Number 10.
10, Soldier and Diplomat.
Soldier and Diplomat, the runner-up in the Southwest, gets an outside draw again, second time.
Yeah, we're going to see how he handles it. Does get Jose Ortiz in for the bout. And as Richie said, a good second in the Southwest, so he knows this surface well.
And a horse that has tactical speed, could set up his trip.
Yes, we're going to see how that varies out. A lot of times we like to say it's a rider's race out of the gate.
And finally,
number 3.
3. Class president.
Todd Pletcher, Johnny Velasquez, they've teamed up for a Kentucky Derby win. And this horse, good second in the Swale, going 7 furlongs.
Yeah, this is a magical duo together when they team up. Pletcher won this running back in 2017 with Malagasy and then right back with Magna Moon.
Well, a nice field of 10. A couple of horses looking to kind of step up and throw their hat into the Kentucky Derby ring, if you will. But Silent Tactic, he's really impressed me here.
You know, he's worked recently, worked extremely well. Can't wait to see Mark. And it's very interesting that in the Southwest, 1-2 for John Oxley, or excuse me, in the Smarty Jones.
Yeah. But you got like this. Now you see Christian Torres. He's celebrating a little early. But this guy got a little bit of pace to run into. He had none at all in the Smarty Jones. And he really finished the deal. I love the way he had his legs up underneath him, Nancy, coming to the wire.
Yeah, Christian Torres knows this horse extremely well. When you go down the Cassie Shed Row, it is stakes winner after stakes winner. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets another chunk of points to head toward the Kentucky Derby.
Now, the horse that has been installed as your morning light favorite is Blackout Time. And you get Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez. Horse has really done nothing wrong. He was second best to your 2-year-old champion in Ted Nafi.
Yeah, and that was your stakes debut. Very impressive. So I think Kenny is going to be really targeting the Southwest and, the Rebel Stakes and gearing up for that run in the Arkansas Derby.
Yeah, he looks like a major player, and you love the fact that they've already know the roadmap to the Kentucky Derby. They've had that success together. And I think that breeds a lot of confidence between a trainer and a jockey.
Oh, it absolutely does. We've seen Brian Hernandez Jr. as his go-to guy. A lot of confidence with this power duo. So very exciting because it's always a stellar field. And if this is your first time to the track, you are guaranteed to be a fan for life.
No doubt, especially the enthusiasm of the Oaklawn Park racing fans. Horse that drew outside in the Southwest, he draws outside 10 of 10, Soldier and Diplomat, but he took a little bit of a different tact in the Southwest where he rated a bit more off the pace than he had previously.
Yeah, I can't help but think that he really learned a lot in that race, and that might parlay over to the Rebel Stakes. And Steve Asmussen most recently won this race back in 2019 and is a 4-time winner of the Rebel Stakes himself.
Yeah, Steve knows how to get it done, and this is a horse that I just think will improve off of that effort. Experimenting. You have to find out if your horse is going to be capable of rating, particularly to get the 1.25 miles. And one characteristic that all good horses share is they possess speed. It's how they learn to use that speed.
Yeah, it's very integral from the training in the morning, how these horses will learn to rate, and again, how that parlays over to the afternoon, because a lot of times it is those lessons that they learn during the morning that help them in the afternoon.
Well, absolutely, and a trainer that knows how to win the Rebel and knows about teaching horses the lessons, Bob Baffert, he has litmus test, the Los Alamitos Futurity winner from last fall.
Yeah, we all know that he used the Rebel Stakes as the springboard to the Arkansas and Kentucky Derby in 2015 with American Pharoah, who did break that 37-year drought of the Triple Crown. And I remember in the Rebel, it was sloppy that day. He actually pulled a shoe, and there's an amazing photo of the shoe just hanging on by a single nail. That is heart all day.
Wow. Now, that shows you. He showed his quality early on. And now the final horse we're going to take a look at is, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't hear that in my ear. Strategic Risk, the other Mark Casse, the Smarty Jones winner, where he really got a very soft trip because it was a slow pace and he was attending the pace. And kind of maybe regressed into the Southwest Stakes.
Yeah, he certainly did. It came up 10th after that win in the Smarty Jones. So, again, his horses are going to work very, very fit into this particular race. He's already got 10 points towards the Kentucky Derby. And Mark Casse really can do no wrong this meet. He's firing at a 41% win clip. Amazing.
He's actually kind of cooled off a little to 41%, if you can believe it or not. But I think our own Megan Burgess caught up with Steve Asmussen.
Well, joined, as you mentioned, by Steve Asmussen, who will send out 2 runners in next weekend's Rebel Stakes. Steve, we'll just start with Soldier and Diplomat. He does draw wide again, but valiant performance last time out as he gets even more distance. Been progressing along.
Like you said, outside draw the other day, 10 of 10 again on Sunday. Has the race over the track, really like how he's trained since, and expect his best race to date.
I will say, you really brought this horse along from 2 to 3 and said that he's really grown up. What else have you kind of learned about him as he's progressed along as a 3-year-old?
Well, I believe that he's extremely talented horse and that time's going to help him. You know, he's went really well over the racetrack. I love how he's doing. A very competitive field, but obviously we like him.
Time for Music you'll also send out with Keith aboard as well. What has given you the confidence to send him out in this tough group?
We're obviously taking a shot with him. He didn't run his race at all the other day, but he came out of it fine and is due for a good run.
Well, we appreciate the time. Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Richie?
Well, we got a nice field of 10 drawn. At first blush, I don't really think there's any negatives or losers in the
No.
draw. It feels like everybody is kind of well placed. Even Soldier and Diplomat, it gives Jose Ortiz from that post 10 the opportunity to get his horse into his hands, so if he's a little bit keen, he can work with him.
Yeah, a lot of times out of the starting gate, when that first turn kind of comes up rather quickly, it is going to be important to get in a good position, hopefully not hit some traffic, and leave your horse just too much to do down the lane.
Well, it's going to be a terrific edition of the Rebel Stakes. We want to thank Nancy and everybody from the racing office, and we'll be right back on the other side of this, but there is your Rebel Stakes taking shape.